Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
A homicide here in East Point leads to a death investigation in Detroit. We have the details.
The clock is ticking for a strike vote for Detroit teachers. Today, I talked to both sides to see where things stand.
Protests over the Postal Service and real worries about mail-in ballots for the November election. And now the U.S. Postmaster General says he is taking action.
But we begin with breaking news just into the newsroom. Convicted murderer Bob Bashara has died. The Livingston County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed to Local 4 that Bashara died Monday at Woodland Center Correctional Facility in Whitmore Lake.
There's no announcement on the cause of death, but he has been held at a facility that specializes in care for inmates who have health problems. You recall Bashara was convicted of plotting to kill his wife Jane back in 2012 and hiring his handyman to do the job. It was also revealed he had been living a secret life with other women in an alternative lifestyle. Again, Bob Bashara confirmed dead at the age of 62. We've got more coming up tonight on Local 4 News at 6. All right, now back to the post office and protests today, which all comes amid reports of diminished hours for letter carriers and the dismantling of mail sorting machines ahead of the election.
The Postmaster General released a statement this afternoon reading in part, quote, even with the challenges of keeping our employees and customers safe and healthy as they operate amid a pandemic, we will deliver the nation's election mail on time and within our well-established service standards. The American public should know that this is our #1 priority between now and Election Day. Larry Spruill is live tonight as lawmakers are reacting to that statement. Larry.
Well, Kimberly and Devin, I talked to several lawmakers all throughout today. 2 of them spoke right here at this post office in New Center. They say they do not believe the statement and basically actions speak louder than words.
They can tweet away, they can make all kinds of statements and say the things that they want to say, but until it matches the actual implementation on the ground, that they're not going to do that.
Those are some strong words from Representative Rashida Tlaib in response to the recent statement from Postmaster General Louise DeJoy about concerns of current conditions inside post offices nationwide and worries about mail-in ballots. DeJoy released this statement. The Postal Service is ready today to handle whatever volume of election mail it receives this fall.
But the changes already were made. Until those machines get back into the sorting, until those boxes get back into our neighborhoods where we can actually put our ballots in, until the actions meet the statement, I think we don't continue fighting.
Several postal workers have complained about mailboxes being removed across the country and here in Michigan. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson says actions speak louder than words, and right now she can't and won't believe anything the Postmaster General has to say.
Words are great. I'm looking for action, and we'll continue to hold their feet to the fire to ensure the action is following the words and also that the changes that have already been made are rectified.
And now several postal workers complained about the conditions inside post offices here like this one. They also expressed concerns as far as the ballots being counted for the November election. I'm working on that part of the story on New Tonight at 6. We're live in New Center tonight. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
Larry, you mentioned concerns about the upcoming election. Many people are concerned whether their vote will be counted. What did those lawmakers talk about that, or did they say anything about that?
They said a lot, exactly, Kimberly. Now, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson says she knows there are concerns as far as election ballots being counted, and that's why she is offering multiple ways to cast your ballot. She says she is going to make sure that all ballots are counted. Had that story about an hour or so. Kimberly?
Yep. Okay. It's something a lot of people, as we said, are interested in knowing more about. Okay. We'll see you a little bit later, Larry. Thank you. Our other top story at 5, a deadly shooting in East Point takes a bizarre turn.
Shooting happened outside a home on Linwood near Gratiot, but it's what police found a few hours later on Detroit's west side that puts a bizarre twist in the case. Sean Lay is live right now in East Point. Sean?
Devin, East Point police investigating the homicide here. Detroit police 21 miles away on the west side of Detroit. They're investigating a death there of the suspected gunman of the homicide here. We're learning tonight it's the second tragedy at this very home in just months.
The husband died a couple months ago, 3 months ago.
John Joaquinta says tragedy struck his neighbor's home 3 months ago, a wife losing her husband to COVID-19.
At the beginning of the pandemic, he got infected real bad, and he died about a couple of weeks later.
7:45 last night, John was on his porch and watched deadly violence strike the very same home on Linwood near Gratiot.
It is wild. It was wild last night.
First, a vicious domestic argument between a 24-year-old man and a woman. The man took off. Police were called.
Police came over here. 2 cars came over here, and they talked to these people, and then they left.
And that's when the 24-year-old came right back.
He stopped right in front of the house. He pulled up a gun and took 4 shots.
A 24-year-old man standing on the porch took one of those shots to his chest and died. This is where the deadly shooting in East Point takes a mysterious turn in Detroit. About 7 hours later, the body of the suspected killer in the East Point shooting is found 21 miles away on West Chicago and Burwood on Detroit's west side. Detroit police investigating this side of the incident. Nothing else found, sources say, except the gunman's body. Back in East Point, John could not believe he witnessed a murder take place right across the street.
I was shocked. I ran into the house. I took off. My son said, come on in, you know. You never know what's going to happen.
Back here live, he has a chair right in front of his front door on his front porch, and this happened right across the street from him. He watched it all unfold. Look, guys, we just checked with Detroit police. They're investigating the alleged shooter's death on that side of town right now. They do not know if it's a homicide or if it's self-inflicted. There was no weapon found with that body, so it's going to be up to the medical examiner to do some more work to find out exactly what happened to him. We're live in East Point tonight. Sean Lake, Local 4.
All right, Sean.
Today's coronavirus numbers show 477 new cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed in the past 24 hours. That's 12 more than yesterday. The state also reports 15 new deaths, though 7 of those come from a review of past vital records.
Attorney General William Barr made a trip to Detroit today to meet with Police Chief James Craig. It comes after last month's announcement that Operation Legend will be expanded into the city. That plan calls for ATF and FBI agents to assist Detroit police in fighting crime across the city.
Meanwhile, Detroit police looking for answers after a woman's body is found inside a burning car. Fire crews made the discovery this morning in the area of Woodmont Avenue and Ellis Street on the city's west side. Firefighters found the woman's body in the trunk. Police have not identified her or the cause of death.
Well, today is finally a good chance to open the windows and get some fresh air into the house.
Yeah, just a gorgeous day as we look outside from our, well, I thought we were going to look at our sky cam, but we're looking at you, Ben.
That's fine. I'll tell you it looks beautiful out there. It looks a lot better than I do. Just to get a couple clouds out there, but it's generally a very pleasant day. And this is the first of 2 in a row that we're going to be staring at. 74 is where we sit right now, and temperatures did not break 80 earlier today. So we're going to be on the cool side of things here for the next couple, and then you can start to see that heat out there in the Central Plains states. Bismarck at 97 degrees. So definitely starting to heat up. We're not headed to the 90s, but we will be above average. Today, those numbers are almost 10 degrees cooler than what we were looking at yesterday. So we're going to stay cool tonight, mid-60s there by midnight. A lot of us in the 50s, but there are some 40s in the 4-zone forecast. We'll check that out, and some very interesting doings in the tropics. More on that coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, Ben. The Democratic National Convention picks up again today after an opening night headlined by former First Lady Michelle Obama. And President Trump had plenty to say about her remarks as he heads back out on the campaign trail. Alice Barr is following it from Washington. Alice.
Devin, on convention night 1, the former First Lady came out swinging against President Trump. Tonight, the woman who hopes to be the next First Lady offers a personal pitch for Joe Biden.
Day 2 of the Democratic National Convention, and the party is hoping to build on momentum from an historic virtual opening night. Former First Lady Michelle Obama still making headlines for her potent takedown of President Trump.
Donald Trump is the wrong president for our country. He has had more than enough time to prove that he can do the job, but he is clearly in over his head.
The president firing back during an event honoring the 100th anniversary of women winning the right to vote.
She was over her head, and frankly, she should have made the speech live. I thought it was a very divisive speech, extremely divisive.
One of the convention's most emotional appeals came from the daughter of a COVID-19 victim.
His only pre-existing condition was trusting Donald Trump,
turning her personal grief into political action.
Donald Trump himself is not taking this crisis seriously, and we need leadership to do that right now.
Tonight, the focus shifts to a more intimate look at Joe Biden, the woman who knows him best, Dr. Jill Biden, delivering the keynote address. Also on night 2, speeches from former President Bill Clinton, an icon of the party's establishment past, and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, heralding a more progressive future. President Trump continues his own campaign swing today, visiting storm-ravaged Iowa and talking border security in Arizona, competing for headlines in a week dominated by Democrats.
While there will be plenty of talk tonight, the big action will be when delegates formally nominate Joe Biden as their candidate. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
All right, Alice, coverage of night 2 of the Democratic Convention gets underway at 10 p.m. here tonight on Local 4, and then make sure you stick around for Local 4 News at 11. If someone you live with gets COVID-19, how likely is it that it gets passed on to you?
Dr. McGeorge has the results of a new study, and it may surprise you.
Also, this isn't just trash. New at 5, the dangerous activity of whippets, and how it could help spread COVID-19 in the community. Paula?
What's going on behind the scenes as Detroit teachers prepare for a strike vote tomorrow? I talked to both sides for an update to see where things are heading.